Today we're going to make some chimichurri sauce. We're getting our parsley from my garden. Uh, I haven't been using my parsley that much, and I think now is the time to use it. So chimichurri is a dipping sauce or a marinade that originates from Argentina and was invented by an Irish soldier named Chimichurri during the Argentinian Independence War. So um, we're gonna make some for keeping for use in future dishes since we are now under quarantine because of the COVID-19 virus that's going around. It's nice to have some stock of sauce that we can use anytime uh, we need to cook something. So maybe I'll use it when I try my grilled shiitake mushrooms that we're also going to make in one of these episodes. So yeah, let's pick our parsley and let's prepare our ingredients. Okay, so now we're going to make our chimichurri sauce. Okay, first off, we have some fresh parsley. These are from my garden. I cut most of the leaves because when parsley is it's getting mature, the leaves they like slowly start to like point down to the ground. So I cut off most of them who are already like on a horizontal position. So here they are, and we are going to use some fresh oregano and some oregano powder combined. Powder has a more potent flavor, but the fresh ones is also different. So we're going to use a combination of that. And we're going to use 1 part cane vinegar, red cane vinegar, and 2 parts olive oil. So, and we also have some chopped red onions. That's probably around 1.5 tablespoons, and some chopped garlic. Where it's also probably like 1 tablespoon. I use 2 cloves. Um, of course, we have some rock salt. I'm gonna use rock salt today for that coarse feel, and some black pepper. I like to use uh, coarsely crushed peppercorns. So, and for some sweetness, we're gonna use again because we can't use white sugar because I'm diabetic. We're going to use some honey, just probably just a small dash or so. So what we're going to do is we're going to chop up our parsley finely. So take off that. You can still use this, by the way. We're all going to put it in a pounder. So chop it really finely. What you can do is like crumple it like that and then make a fine chop like that. See? Makes your life a lot easier. Let's get this oregano out of the way and just, put it in the pounder. Take out the leaves like that. Put it all in nice and easy. There. Okay, so let's continue. chopping our parsley. Nice and oh, spicy. Okay. So now after this, when you make enough chimichurri, you can like just keep it, store it up in a bottle, and like keep it in your ref. You can use it as a condiment for your vegetables or meat. Well, I don't eat meat anymore, so I'm gonna use it for my mushrooms. Um, you can also use it as a marinade. So lots of uses for chimichurri, but basically it's used mainly for as a sauce. Oh, look at that, a baby praying mantis. I guess it's also from the garden because our garden is organic. We don't use any pesticides. That's why if you've seen the previous episodes with the tomatoes, you can see that my leaves are wilting because of, I don't know if it's a pest or fungus or whatever, but yeah, because we don't use any pesticides or any chemicals to protect our plants. Okay, this could be chopped more finely, but yeah, you just have to be patient with chopping your greens, especially if you're making it into a sauce. You can also use, or most people use food processor or a blender. It would be much easier. You just pop everything in and pulse, pulse away, and you get your sauce real quick. But I like to do mine more manually, and it kind of takes away the coarseness when you use a machine to puree your sauce, although it's much more consistent and it's really like a very fine sauce after. But I like the more rustic feeling sauce. Get the feel that it was made at home, right? So by the way, most of my condiments and ingredients are that I use are listed. If you've seen the other video that I've made about the common ingredients that I keep in my kitchen that I use most of the time. So if you've watched that and you've stocked up, and now we're in a time of quarantine where movements are limited and most of us can't really just go out easily, it would have been nice if you know, had bought them way beforehand. Okay, I guess this is okay. So now we're going to put it in our pounder like so. I'm including all even the stems because we don't want too much wastage, and besides it can also be eaten, and it also has some flavor. So there you go, everything in the pounder. So one thing we've learned from the previous episode is uh, we put the liquids last, okay, before pounding. So now we're gonna put some dried oregano, just maybe a few dashes there, and maybe just 2 pinches of salt, or maybe 3. 3, and put in our red onions, or as some may call it, shallots. There. Put in our garlic. And 1, 2, 3 pinches of our pepper. Okay. And then we're going to pound it. I mean, you don't really need to pound it too much, but I'm pounding it so as to crush the onions and the garlic and melt all the flavors together, so that when we mix the oils and the vinegar, it's gonna be perfectly melding together. So after making this, we can set this aside and then use it for later. Yeah, see the leaves are all pounded out and the juices are out and everything. That's what we want. We want them we want them juices out so the flavors can all meld together. Again, when you keep this at home, just ready in your ref anytime you want to have it with your viand. This is chimichurri is especially good with grilled stuff. So okay, I think that's all right. So now we're going to add our vinegar and oil. So we're going to put 1 part vinegar and 1 part um, oil. So we're just gonna put 1/8 cup of vinegar because we don't have too much. So we don't have too much parsley. So yeah, I'm using red cane vinegar because it's not too sour. It has a certain flavor to it. You can use red wine vinegar as well, or normal regular white vinegar, but I use this because it's less potent, less acidic. Okay, now I'm gonna put the oil, 2 parts. So 1, 2. Okay. So now we're just going to mix it all up together like so. Okay. So yeah, mix it up. See that? That's your chimichurri right there. It kind of looks like pesto, but it has a totally different flavor to it. Oh, before I forget, I'm gonna add some of our sweetness, some honey. But not too much, maybe just like a spoonful there. Up, that's a little too much, so I put it there, and we mix it all up together like so. It's hard to get some light here, so we actually serve some chimichurri in our restaurant in Los Baños called Entablado, but this is a different recipe from what we use there. This is my recipe. The one we use there is from Chef Maidan Selby Beale's recipe, which is much better, and it's more precise than this. So let's give a taste. Mm. 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 Got someone my. It's quite the garlic is really potent. It's because it's fresh, but chimichurri gets better with age. So let's have some more taste. Mm. Very nice balance of this garlicky, herby flavor with some some amount of acid and sweetness. So this is going to be perfect for our mushroom. So we're gonna transfer this to a jar and then just wait for our mushroom so we can grill it and serve it soon. So yep. Okay, so here we have our chimichurri all bottled up and ready to use anytime. So we can just keep it in the ref or at room temperature, uh, as long as it doesn't get molds. It's all good. See, so it's submerged in oil. So just make sure that every time you use it, you use a clean spoon for getting some. So you can use this as a dip. You can drizzle your food with it. I used to have this with uh, pork back when I ate pork, and then it, um, also use it for fish, grilled fish or baked fish. Yeah, but now I'm going to try to use this on mushroom. So I'm gonna make some barbecue shiitake soon. It's the first time I'm going to try that out. So we're going to marinate it, and well, not using chimichurri but a different marinade, and then we're gonna baste it with this after grilling it, cooking it in the grill. Okay, so it's nice to keep enough uh, that we can consume, especially during this time that mobility is very much limited to confine this virus that's going around. And it's also nice because this is actually, well, I can say, I guess this is vegan. Yeah, I didn't use any, well, I used some honey because I can't use sugar because of my diabetes. So I guess this is just vegetarian. So yeah, I made substitutions with regards to some ingredients, especially the sugar. I didn't use white sugar. I just used real honey for that touch of sweetness. So yeah, I suggest, since we all have uh, lots of time to spare now that we're confined to our homes, maybe spend it wisely. Try to learn something new every day. Try to meditate and listen to your soul. Quiet it down and, you know, just feel the universe that surrounds you in silence. So, with that, eventually will slowly bring us to, you know, inner peace, maybe, and eventually you would be living the best life that we can. And every day we should wake up and live. Hi, I'm Caioman, and this is Caioman's Garden Kitchen. Pray for the world.